Final Monday Night Football Cram of the season. Big contest on Draftkings tonight. Please don't dupe me, bros.
I suffer from a debilitating condition known as atrophic shockitis.
Peter's one of the greatest depositors I've ever seen.
Trust the process. Let's go.
I got auto matched with Levitan. This is bullshit.
If I just go the other way, in that 66, I win all the money. All the money.
If I had 150 lineups, I'd win too.
Process over results.
Illuminati make a bitch go crazy. I don't know which one of these my baby. Bust out AP, 35 bullets in your head like KD. Bust it, bitch go bust it. And I had 10 pints with me in Russia.
Hey everyone.
Look at all you rent seekers. I know you guys weren't here last night. I know you weren't here on Saturday night. And yet you come in here and you complain about me being late. Well, some of the true showdown grinders and thought leaders were putting in overtime on Saturday and Sunday. And now you guys show up and tell me I'm late. No, you're late. Where were you guys last night? Don't worry. I'm going to forgive you. We're going to move on. We have really big contests up on DraftKings tonight. There's the 400K play action. Normally, I do not see one of these $3 play actions outside of the Super Bowl with 100,000 up top. We have that tonight. They've released a few more $3 20 maxes. There's all kinds of mini maxes, $1 20 maxes. Anything you want to get your hands on, we have available to us tonight. But these are going to be very hard contests to not be duped. Again, this big contest is 158,000 people. I was looking at some of my lineups trying to find the low product ownership, and you have to get pretty off the board if you want to make sure you're not duped. But that's what we do around here. We don't dupe each other. Got to make sure we get unique. Got to sprinkle in a little Demetrius Harris in your lineups. Get funky out there. How are we doing tonight? How are we doing? What's up, Ricky? Ricky is recovering from the Raiders loss this weekend. Thoughts and prayers with Ricky. What's up, Paul? How is it going? Hey, everyone. Michael, COVID protocols got you on Saturday. I'm sorry, buddy. Hope you're feeling better. Please tell me I can play 60% Antoine Wesley. Man, yeah, everyone wants to play Wesley. What am I seeing for him in the flex thing? He looks like a neutral play. He's popping in the Sims about 20% of the time. One thing I will say about tonight, normally I look at ownership at a few different spots. Of course, RTS, I check out ETR, I check out Osimo. Ownership is all over the map tonight as far as how people think this slate is going to go. And I think it makes sense because we have a lot of uncertainty with the Edmonds and James Conner situation in the Cardinals backfield. We have new moving pieces with Rondale Moore finally coming back into the offense. He looks good to me, but just lots of discrepancy on ownership. Even Antoine Wesley, ETR has him at 27%. Osmo has him at 15%. Like, that's a pretty big gap that I'm not used to seeing for some of these spots. Normally we have kind of a tighter band of projected ownership. So there's a little bit of guesswork tonight. And this is a pretty good night if you know better on the Edmonds and Connor situation. And I can show you how we have it projected over at RTS. I should also mention, as I've been mentioning the past few nights, we have a playoff package on Run the Sims. You can get it for half off with promo code Pete. Brings the price all the way down to $34.50, which is an absolute steal to get these showdown simulators for the rest of the playoffs. That'll get you hooked up for divisional round weekend, conference championship, and the Super Bowl. I will not be around next weekend to do crams. I am traveling. So you guys are on your own, but you're in good hands with Run the Sims. I highly recommend getting subbed up. You can run these on your own and ship some money. But you can see here, we are projecting Chase Edmonds as the lead back. We have him with a 41% market share of both rushing and then a 32.8% market share, 11.6% market share here for receiving. We have James Conner down at a 29% rushing market share and a 6.7%. So we have it more as like a 1A, 1B situation. We have, of course, seen games this year where James Conner has operated as the lead back. This is a IKB situation if you feel like you have a hunch on it. If you think Connor's going to come back and be immediately healthy in a full go, then maybe you would want to boost these numbers. We can run a few sims with that scenario as well, but I'm inclined to kind of trust this projection. And I should say, if you trust this input, you're going to end up with a lot of Chase Edmonds tonight. He looks like one of the best plays, both flex and captain. He's showing up in our sims as the captain 13.4% of the time. Average ownership on him is going to be around 4 to 5%. And in the flex is where he really separates. I'm seeing around 22% average ownership on him. He appears in our sims 50% of the time. So if you think these inputs are in the ballpark, you are jamming Chase Edmonds tonight. I don't know if anyone has seen any updated news on the Cardinals backfield. I haven't, so I am running with this tonight. I do agree with Kyle here. Cup and expensive QBs will push Wesley into chalk. It does seem like he is going to be the salary saver de jour tonight, so I could certainly see that happening. Let's run these sims here, and I can show you guys a little bit more of what I am seeing. That is correct, Den. We are the Cramors. So no surprise right here at the top. Cooper Kupp appearing as the optimal captain nearly 22% of the time, which is pretty crazy, just considering his price tag. You would think at $13K that it would be hard for him to appear as the optimal captain this amount of the time, but it just goes to show what a dominant target hog he is in this offense. And then you see here, we're a little split. Both Chase Edmonds and Kyler look pretty good as far as your Cardinals captains. It makes sense to me in that Kyler, we know, has a monster ceiling if he adds some of that rushing element to the ground. And Chase Edmonds is just mispriced. If he is the 1A back in an up-tempo, high-scoring game at 5,000, he's going to have lots of pass to being the captain. We also see Sony Michel creep in here at 9.5%. I'll also say, as far as the captain plays, Sony is probably the other one that shows a little bit of positive leverage if you want to go the Rams route, because I'm seeing what do I have Cooper Kupp at? Cooper Kupp looks like a neutral captain play. I'm seeing him around 19 to 20% captain ownership, and he's coming in the sims at about 20% as well. So I am not going to go on record and say Cooper Kupp is not a good captain play. He seems like a fine captain play. You're just going to have to get unique elsewhere to make sure you're not duping. But Sony Michel is fairly interesting, especially if people are concerned about Cam Akers, although Cam Akers looked absolutely awful last week. So maybe people aren't going to be scared off of Sony Michel. Sony Michel as a flex play actually looks fairly decent. I'm seeing 32% average ownership on him. He's appearing in the sims around 38% of the time. So a little positive leverage there on Sony Michel. The other guy I should mention here that I think we're getting an injury discount on is Rondale Moore. Rondale Moore, I'm seeing his average ownership around 8 or 9%, and he's appearing here, you can see in the sims 23% of the time. We've seen this dynamic a lot throughout the season, both main slate, showdown. You do get that injury discount. Everyone here in the chat, everyone's talking about Wesley. I mean, there's kind of two ways you can think about it. Oh, I'm getting an injury discount on Rondale Moore, or you can just say Cliff Kingsbury loves playing Antoine Wesley outside. It doesn't really affect Rondale Moore. I think that's a fine take too. But if I'm going to play the ownership game and based on how Rondale Moore is popping in the sims, I'm okay being heavy on Rondale Moore. I made like 250 lineups for tonight, and I'm pretty sure I have a shit ton of Rondale Moore. I can tell you right now. Yeah, I have 52% Rondale Moore. So I'm happy being, 2.5x the field on him in this spot if he's going to be underplayed. Let's check out this is exactly why I'm going to get him at his ownership, is because no one wants to play him. And that is what we're trying to do around here, is get in guys in good spots that the field does not want to play. Custom lineups here, checking some of these out. Let me zoom out a bit so we can see the texture of these lineups. A ton of heavy Cardinals Bills builds just because the Cardinals are providing more value tonight. This top lineup is pretty interesting as a 1-5 build. Kyler Murray, captain, Christian Kirk, Sony Michel as your 1 Ram, Zach Ertz, AJ Green, Chase Edmonds. I'm wondering if this would be fairly unique just because I don't know if everyone would want to use a running back as their bring back in a Cardinals onslaught, but it does have a fairly high product own here at 226.4. This lineup looks like it could be incredibly chalky. This is probably going to be one of your more duplicated lineups. Kyler Murray, Antoine Wesley, Chase Edmonds, Zach Ertz, Christian Kirk, and Cooper Kupp. Cooper Kupp as the solo bring back is going to feel a lot more comfy for the field. We do have a couple low product own lineups here in the top. A Chase Edmonds captain, Cooper Kupp, AJ Green, Kyler Murray, Sony Michel, Rondale Moore. This to me looks like a good single entry 3 max type construction because Chase Edmonds is going to be, the 4th, 5th most popular captain. So anytime you're using one of the least popular captains or, not in the top 3 or 4, I think that's always going to make you fairly unique there. So I like those Edmonds captain lineups a good bit, and you can tell that they're popping in the Sims. Here's another one that's kind of interesting, a 4-2 build with just 2 Cardinals, Edmonds, Ertz, but then you bring back Higbee, Kupp, Odell, and Stafford. This lineup tells a story to me too, because if we think Edmonds is going to be the primary pass catching back and Zach Ertz has been just a target monster for Kyler, if they're playing catch up mode in the Rams get up early, I could definitely see a lot of the targets being concentrated around Edmonds and Ertz. So this is the beauty of the Sims. The lineups by nature of how they're constructed tell a story with the simulation. So those look interesting to me. Yeah, I say this every time. The kickers never look good in the Sims. The Sims do not like the kickers. Matt Gay looks like he's going to be overowned. I will say, though, actually, I need to check myself. Normally, both kickers look really bad. Gay looks worse. He's only appearing in the Sims 5% of the time. I'm seeing around 17% average ownership on him. Prater looks a little bit more neutral. I'm seeing around 15% ownership, and he's in our Sims about 8% of the time. The Sims just never like the kickers. And so you guys are always on your own with the kickers. We've talked to Justin about that. They don't correlate with the other positions, so they show up more infrequently in the simulated lineups. You can certainly dig for lineups that have the kickers in there. I know Cody Main at ETR thinks that kickers are slightly underutilized in the kind of top, 0.01% of lineups, the ones that finish at the top of the leaderboard. So I'm kind of neutral on kickers. I don't end up with a lot of them just because I trust the kind of simulated correlations on Run the Sims. It feels like it, Giano. He says, is Wesley for the casuals. I do feel like Wesley is the toe sucker play tonight. No offense to all the Wesleys, the Wesley heads there. Yes, Eric, I am 7x the field. I am playing a contest with 150,000 people. I am happy to show you guys. I always recommend that site sportsprojections.com. I have it pinned in the Discord, and you can check your dupes after. If you are not doing stuff like having Rondale Moore at captain, or you're sprinkling in Demetrius Harris, you will be duplicated in that contest. I'm promising you. You can send me your lineups. I will look them up. You will be duplicated in that contest. And being duplicated in there is a death knell for your long-term ROI. If you don't want to deal with those kind of plays, play smaller contests. Play stuff under 10K. There's plenty of contests under 10K, but those of us playing the lottos have to get unique, and Rondale Moore is an ownership edge that we can push relative to his projection. The toe suckers are here. Mike, Schmohawk, Ricky Beers. There's nothing wrong with being a toe sucker. I think the thing with the toe suckers is just play toe sucker contests. Play contests with less than 10,000 people. And then you guys can suck your toes to your heart's content. Let me see how much Wesley I have in my lineups, and I'll see if I'm a toe sucker. I have 8% Wesley. So I'm going to be underweight on Wesley. Let's see. Mr. Lou wants some T's and P's for the Eagles fans. Maybe Ertz will wear his Eagles wristbands under his uni again for us, and thereby we can captain him. Yeah. Let me see how Ertz looked in the flex stuff here. Zach Ertz looks pretty good. He's appearing in the Sims 34% of the time. I'm seeing around 30% average ownership on Zach Ertz. He looks like a top 4, top 5 flex play to me. So let your Eagles flag fly and play some Zach Ertz. He doesn't look as good as a captain. Looks like 8% average ownership in captain spot, 7% in the Sims, but I don't mind Zach Ertz. I don't mind him. Let's see here. Tell me a scenario you guys would like me to run. This was based on the default simulation, which has the Rams as a 4-point home favorite here. Pretty nice over under 50.5 points. That gives the Cardinals a 23 implied team total and the Rams a 26. For my lineups, I was running them a few different ways. I was running Rams blowout, Cardinals blowout. I ran a couple low scoring options. Is there anything you guys would like to see? Yeah, I like doing the low scoring ones. Let's do, I always like to lop off, let's lop off like 12 points from each of these teams. Let's do like a 14 to, I don't know, let's do like a 14 to 10 game. And see what that looks like. If this happens, I think the rush rates would sneak up just a little bit, just in a slower pace, closer game. But we can see here if anything else stands out differently from the default sim. So Cooper Kupp holds strong here. He actually jumps up as the optimal captain up to 26.5%. Chase Edmonds stays about what he was at here at 11.9%. He was 13.4% in the default sim. So to me, that's a strong indicator that Chase Edmonds is a good play, even in a really low scoring game. He's here. The guy who benefits the most from a low scoring game is actually Christian Kirk. He jumps up to 11.5%. I don't know if I can tease out why that would necessarily be the case, but in the default sim, Christian Kirk was only appearing as the optimal captain 8% of the time, and he pops up here to 11.5%. So that's kind of interesting that Kirk looks a little bit better in super low scoring games. I don't know if I would have intuitively landed on that. Let's see how these low scoring lineups look. Makes sense that you see some defenses pop in here. I don't see any double Ds at the top. We do have Arizona Cardinals in this top one, Rams D in this one, another Rams D, another Rams D. Here's your double Ds. Christian Kirk, captain, Sony Michel, Cooper Kupp, Kyler Murray, Los Angeles Rams, Arizona Cardinals, 27.7 product own. If you want to play this as a super low scoring lineup, this lineup looks pretty good to me. Am I worried at all with Edmonds and Connor both playing? I'm always worried, bro. I'm terrified. I'm terrified. No, so the whole reason that the Sims are overweight here is because we are projecting, and this was what I was saying at the top, we are projecting Edmonds to be the lead back. If Edmonds is the lead back at his price tag and his current projected ownership, he is an absolute smash play. Now, if you think that that's not the case, let's actually do this. Why are we doing hypotheticals? Let's just flip this. And then we can see how much it changes. So let's say we want to just play Connor as the lead back, and we'll flip these guys, 41-29. I'm actually going to leave the market share for receiving the same because I do think Edmonds still would probably operate as the slight, but let's flip their rushing market shares. We'll leave James Conner. Let's even boost his up 4 more percentage points, and we'll bring his down. And now let's run the Sims here and see how this looks if Connor is the lead back. So Chase Edmonds still appears here in the flex 42% of the time, which is more than the field is going to be playing him. And where do we see James Conner? I'm scrolling for James Conner. James Conner, only 15%. So to me, these are the flashing red signal of like, even if you project James Conner as the lead back tonight, the Sims still do not like him at this price tag. He's 4,400 more than Chase Edmonds. You would need to give him like 70% market share to have him appear in these lineups more than Chase Edmonds. So of course there's concern that it's a split backfield, but their price tags and the way the rest of these lineups come together necessitate that Chase Edmonds appears more frequently. And his optimal captain rate only comes down about 3%, even if you shift that market share over to James Conner. So I feel pretty damn confident that Chase Edmonds is a strong play tonight, that the field is not playing enough. And just checking everyone's sentiment, where everyone's worried about James Conner, which I understand, but that sentiment is going to carry over and be reflected in ownership, where people aren't going to want to play as much Chase Edmonds because of that dynamic. Wow. Yeah, I can't wait for you guys to all be upset at me because Chase Edmonds and Rondale Moore don't do anything. And I'll just say to you, TTP, baby, trust the process. Get it in good. Let's see. So yeah, the custom lineups, even in this scenario, you do notice, here's Chase Edmonds still in the top projected lineup, even when you flip Connor's target share to him. And does Connor here's a couple Connor lineups. Here's actually an interesting one, a Connor and Chase Edmonds lineup. And this lineup is viable to me if you want to play this game like a Cardinals route. And obviously Vegas doesn't project it like that, but I think that's where we get the edge in our lineup building, is kind of thinking up scenarios that the field isn't considering. But a Kyler captain, Rondale, James Conner, Zach Ertz, Chase Edmonds, just Sony back, that's kind of interesting to me. Yes, let's wrap up here with a scenario where the Cardinals win. And you know what? I will leave James Conner at 41% here in a Cardinals win, because I do think we would see a little bit more James Conner if the Cardinals have a big lead. Let's do Cardinals 33, and we'll take 5 points off of the Rams. Let's do a 33-21. Let's boost their rush rate up to like 49%. Let's lower the Rams rush rate to 35%. And let's see how this looks. All right. So this one is really interesting because Kyler really separates from Chase Edmonds as the optimal captain. In the default sim, they were much closer. But if the Cardinals are scoring more points, it is very likely, and the sims reflect this, that Kyler is going to be a big part of that. He becomes the optimal captain at the same rate as Cooper Kupp, about 1/5 of the time. Edmonds stays around the same at about 11%, and there's a pretty big drop off to everyone else. So if you're playing a Cardinals 10-point victory, Kyler Murray definitely looks like a top play in that scenario. We see Zach Ertz's flex rate look pretty good in this scenario, 42%, Christian Kirk, 33%. And man, look at these simulated lineups here in a Cardinals win, just littered with Cardinals captains here. One really interesting lineup that pops up there, Matthew Stafford captain, onslaught with just a Chase Edmonds bring back, a 5-1 there. You can see here the product ownership for some of these lineups is pretty low. This is a fun lineup. Chase Edmonds captain, Kyler Murray, Christian Kirk, Zach Ertz, Cardinals defense with just a Cooper Kupp bring back. That lineup seems hot to me because you're playing a big Cardinals win. You're getting a really unique captain. And then even if Cardinals defense is getting there on like a pick 6 or something, you still have Cooper Kupp kind of dominating targets in a negative come from behind game script. So some interesting lineups here to look through at fairly low product ownership. Here's another one in the same vein. Kyler, Rondale Moore, Ertz, AJ Green, Cardinals D, Cooper Kupp on the bring back. I think if I was playing single entry, I would be messing around with some builds like that. All right, guys. Thank you as always for joining us for a Showdown Cram. Like I said, no Showdown Crams next weekend because I will be traveling. I will be back, of course, to cram for conference championship weekend, and we'll have to figure out what we're going to do for the Super Bowl. Maybe we'll do a big show. Maybe we'll go like an hour. Maybe we'll do a couple shows, a pre-Super Bowl show early in the week, doing a first look, and then maybe an actual cram before the Super Bowl if anyone wants to ignore their friends at the Super Bowl party to check out inactives. That sounds like it could be a good time. Good luck tonight. Send me your screenshots when you ship these tournaments. Do not at me when Rondale Moore does nothing. I love you all. Good luck tonight.